have these little guys that I got at the Dollar Tree. And this is like water. And let me tell you why I like this in a container. Because I always turn around, I got my plate through it full of my paint, and I turn around, I squeeze this, and it goes all over because I don't know. We'll just see, it comes out like water. You see that? Not really. But it's milky, all right? But this is the one I want to share with you. This is an enamel. This is flow medium. And what happens with this is the chemist at Plaid says this is, the paint company said this is the hardest sealer that they have at their entire company. So what I love about that is if you come and coat over this, you're going to see streaks on the glass. And I do not like to coat over glass. Sometimes you can do it over ceramic or a metal something and you wouldn't notice it, or a ceramic color, you know, colored glass. But what I do with this is every time I'm going to paint, I go in there and pick up some of that medium. Now I'm gonna usually load my brush, get it, and then work it in. And then every maybe third stroke, I get some of that again. Now, I know that we worry about that because we want thick paint, all right, on our pieces so that it holds up. The clear medium is what you're going to do with this is you're going to make sure if you want to do floated, like a soft lavender. See how thick this is? This is thick and it's milky. Looks white. All right. And I'm going to use some green. And I'm going to use some aqua here really quick. All right. So I just want you to see that I can pick up some aqua and maybe even some green, like I was painting on some glass with that. I'm going to get closer so y'all can see. See, my brush is loaded with paint. I can wipe it off on a paper towel so the excess is wiped off. So I can clean my brush off there, and then I pick up the medium and I work it in. All right, so now this medium is going to stick really well. If you added water, you're going to have a problem. But I'm not. I'm just using the clear medium instead. And when I stroke with that, I'm going to get a couple of things you can do. You can make it like it's frosted, a frosted color. I do grapes with daubers, and then I do some shadow grapes. All right, so let me put it so you can see it. I don't know if you can see that good. All right, so if I've had the dark paint first, then I can come out right away from that and do the shadowing. All right, see how that's clear and those are stroked heavy. And you got to lay paint on there. All right, so see how I'm laying the brush down and then standing up? Whenever it stands up, that's when you're going to see that it gets thinner paint there. I'm going to come over here and get a little bit more to show you that if I'm stroking. My favorite thing about glass is that if you don't like it, you just wipe it off and you can try it to see what it's going to look like. See, now I want you to see that's a perfect example of I let the brush go sideways right here. So it got a big wipe right there. It's on the chisel. Can y'all see? I stood up right on the chisel and got that in there easily. All right. So one thing I do before we get started, I wanted to tell you the one thing I do is I like to hold my glass here, or I like to put my hand inside and move it around, because then the oils aren't touching the glass. All right. So these are some colors, the Look at Me blue, the aqua, which I used all of. I have some magenta here, some white, and some yellow, but one of these paintings I used orange. We're making poppies, so they can be red or orange. and I wanted some bright blue with that. That's why I picked a Look at Me blue, but you can use aqua too if you want to. And I have some lime green because I wanted something really bright. And then I use sap green. So some of you might have thicket. Thicket's more muted. Sap has got a deeper color. And you can't, I've been using sap with aqua, and it gives a nice, like I was just showing you earlier, it gives a nice look too. Okay, and then I have white in the middle. Okay, which I made it messy, so you might want to go in and do a little bit more white that's fresh. Okay, so this is, I want to work on doing a poppy. See, this poppy's got a petal falling, and then it's got a little bud, and then see how this is layered? All right, I have one in back, and then I put these on top. All right, so that's what we're going to do first. All right, so I'm going to use a 12. We can use a little bit bigger, but I think if we use a 12 and I lay this right here, so I think you can see it better. Okay. And remember, we are sold out. We're getting some more in, but I just want you to see when I'm doing little dots, this rubber little dot, I call that like a candy kiss. And then it can dot really good. And then this scrapes off some of the paint, and that gives a bigger dot. All right. Okay. And who knows when you buy this lesson if they are or not. Sorry. All right. So this is what I want you to do. I want everybody to use a 12. And it's nice to go ahead and start out. We'll start out with a little bit of medium. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have thick. I want you to pick up thick orange. I need to get over in the right place. And then I'm going to grab yellow on the other side. Now this is daffodil yellow or yellow light, whichever you want. Now I'm going to put a spot where I'm going to, because it gives you an illusion. Your eyes, you don't, I mean, I go down and the glass is right there. I feel like I have to go deeper. All right. So look, I'm going to be at an angle. Now here's the top. I'm pointing there. So I want to start at an angle, lay my brush down, and stand up. And I'm going to go over it twice because I had a big ridge there. But see, I don't mind that ridge being there. I'm going to stroke over it. And I'm leaving an edge at the top so your lips don't get on it. Not that I'm a little high there, but that's not a bad problem. It's not like we've got, it's not unsafe, but by law, we're not supposed to say that you can put it there. Okay. So I'm going to pick up more yellow and orange again. So I'm going to pick up every stroke that way. Are y'all with me? Here's my center, and I'm heading at an angle. I'm not straight up, okay? So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have an angle going this way. Here, we're going to push down again at an angle, and then look how I'm standing up over to the side. Now I want you to see this. If you push here, you slide this way. If you push over here, you slide here. So now look what I'm saying. I want to just do it on a, let me do it on a foam plate for you. This is real important that you see this because it's an easy move, but unless you see what we're doing. So I did an angle here, an angle there, and an angle there. See what I'm saying? So this first one I pushed down and I stood up, right? Now this one on this side, I push down and then I make a comma. And I push down over here and I make a comma over here. So you push and slide, push and slide. So see, I put lots of pressure, then I stand up and slide my chisel over. So what's happening as I come right here, I want to put it on top of there, but I need it to show. So if I brought brighter yellow, and I brought this one over a little bit more. Okay, so 1, 2. See, I want to see the streaks. I don't like that goop there, but you can move it away. And this side, over. All right, so then what I'm going to do is I can push and stand up, or I can push and stand up here, or I can push down here and bring up. See, I don't want it to get that thin because it's not as durable, so I can push down there and stand up. Are you with me? Because here's the stem. You all see those layers? Okay, so I'm going to pick up more paint, and when I pick it up, look what I'm doing, guys, so that we don't have big ridges. I'm going to lay it flat and lay it flat so that when I'm laying this on here, I'm going to leave the orange up and see the angle I started at, and then I'm going to stand up. So I'm going to push out here and stand up. Yellow on one side, orange on the other. And I'm going to lay down and just let it stand up. Okay, so what's going to be okay here is I want to put the center right in the middle there and get that same look I want. So you can see through just a little bit. That's probably because I put some of that flow medium, but remember, the flow medium makes it really strong. So I'm going to come 1 here and then go over here and space 1 there. So I'm going to have 3 around here. See that? 1 on this side, 1 there, and 1 there. So I have a balance of the orange. So I'm going to keep putting this here. And you can't have paper towel around you because it'll rub off your paint when you least expect it. All right, so I've got orange and yellow. Now I'm going to come at this angle and stand up. Now the key is the color that I'm putting next. I want this color I'm putting next to be a different color so it stands out. So the thing that I think is kind of crazy is whatever color's up is a color that's predominant. Like I was thinking that if I put the orange down, that would make the orange show. But I'm going to come right here and the orange is going to show there. Okay, and then I'm going to do one out here. And I even like one coming from up here every once in a while. Do that. Now, this, if you're having a problem, this is what I was going to tell you. It's right here. All right, so I can take away with a paper towel. I have a paper towel right here, and I erase what I don't like. All right, so I don't have to restroke it if there's anything I don't like. So I'm not happy with this in the middle, but I know I'm going to put that green there, but I can take it away. Even if it's dried, I can scrub it off. Okay, but this one's a little bit smaller. I'm going to get back to a bigger one over here. I might have should have put a color underneath me. Okay, so that y'all could see the strokes better maybe. All right, so I'm going to push down and I'm going to make it bigger. Push. And move the petals so that they're looking like they're coming in different directions. And I'm just going to do one side here and twist the brush up. Okay. So I'm going to go get some medium and I'm going to work it in. Get some more medium. Now I wouldn't touch the bottom. Okay. That's after I washed it. I dried it on a paper towel. Okay. So we're going to touch, lean down, and pull. All right. So I don't worry about if it's not perfect there because I'm going to go around. See that? See how it's a little thick there? That's when you can take it off if you want to. Let's see, those don't bother me. This one got a little thick. But just remember too, you can come with a smaller brush and you can pick up anything you're not happy with. That's the beauty about using enamels. It's fun. Or this is multi-surface actually. The dark green is enamels. And then that's the other thing you can do. You can mix the paints between multi-surface and enamels. All right. Okay, so I'm going to come here, and this is what people are nervous about, is that it curves and they're thinking that they can't get a good stroke. But if you take and you pull it away from you, you can usually get a better stroke instead of pulling it towards you. Watch this. I'm going to pull it away. All right, and see, I go a little slow on that so I can put it in there without a problem. All right. And I'm going to do two. Now, I'm doing this so that I can see where my flower is going to go. Let me move this. I want you to see it. Don't let me know if you can't see it. So anyway, I'm putting those in there first. And I can add a few little ones if I want, like grass. Just because we might put some daisies or whatever in there. All right, so orange, magenta, bright yellow, all those colors look really pretty together and springy. All right, so I'm gonna take, like I told you, I'm gonna go to like my 10, a smaller brush. And I want you to see that I'm gonna pick up white. And that white's starting to get dry on me. White, and then I'm gonna grab this Look at Me blue, which is a multi-surface. All right, so now look what happens here. All right, I'm gonna touch, my little finger's steadying me. I'm gonna push down on the chisel and lift. All right, so I'm gonna do a few more, get a little bit more white and blue. Now look, I'm gonna push down and lift, push and lift. And see, it's okay to leave that big glob there. Push and lift, push and lift. And about then, so I do a couple and I have to go get more. Now I sometimes pull little ones in between here. White and blue. Push, lift, push, lift. So it gives you those streaks because you're pushing down and you're pulling the streaks up. All right, so see, I'm going into the white and grabbing the blue. Now, there's all kinds of little flowers that, see, I'm not going to push as hard. Let's get just on the chisel and see that I can make a space. Like little lavender, sometimes it comes instead of a little stalk flower. It has separation. There we go, sorry. And I'm doing that daisy stroke, just little chisels. And then I could have some coming down. See? And then I can put little yellow stamens in between. There's one style, and there's another style. So the key is putting some of this white in here. I want a little bit more white so it shows better. That's going to make a difference. Remember, white covers really well. All right. Can you see? There you go. See that little blue? And then this is another type of wildflower I did. Okay. So I've got another one here. I'll pick up white again. I'm going to let the white show more on this one just to show you the difference. Okay, so we're going to pull, touch, lift, in the middle, side, side, side. You see that? Kind of I do pussy willows like that too. See how that white pops? So there's the blue, there's the white. This time I'm going to use magenta and white and show you how I would do that. So I'm going to pick up some white and some magenta. I'm going to load these double. Now anything with a 12 or smaller, just remember 12 or smaller, I can work it all magenta. Okay, and I can side stroke the white. And remember I told you that white was getting a little pasty. Let me get some enamel white over here. And that white I have is still good. But I want some fresh white when I'm trying to do this small little brush. So see, I'm going to come in here and pick up white each stroke. See that? All right. So I have all magenta already on the brush. So every time I'm going to come over here and just pick up white. All right. So let's go in here again. All right. So I am going to go. What you have to do first is put where your center is going to be. I put a little dot for my center. And then I'm going to do the clock. So it's 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock. And then, see, I keep going to get more paint. Then I'm going to pull little daisy petals in between. You can put 2 or 3. See, I ran out of white. You see that right there? All right. And then I just take the handle of the brush on this. I'm just going to put one little yellow dot in the middle or a light green dot. All right. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to do a few more that overlap each other. I just want to show you that I can do a couple things. I can pick up this little yellow and put yellow at the end of each one of those plumes of white. So it looks like they're part of that flower. See how many I can dot with this one, pick up a paint with this rubber kiss on here. A rubber kiss. Okay, so see how pretty those are? Any little detail that you do on that, that's why sometimes I like to come in here and do little dots around instead of a handle of a brush. But I'm gonna show you that I can then come back and just put lime green in the middle. It's peeking though. All right, so let's go to this one too, and let me show you on this blue one. You can also touch here and pull down. Touch, pull, touch, pull. You'll see that right there. Well, there we go. I got to pick up each time fresh paint. And I'm not getting fresh paint. There we go. Touch, pull. See how nice and thick that is? And what I like is it keeps me, it gives me that texture right there, and it stays up like that. It dries like that. Touch, lift, touch, lift. Okay. Now this one, I can make it another flower, if y'all can see this. All right, so I can make little teeny dots of lime. Now, if you don't have this tool, you can use a pencil tip, sharpened pencil. It won't give you the little sponging that you can do on this, but that's what I used to use till I got fun tools. See the little dots I'm putting in there? Just splatter the little dots. Okay, so I need some more pink and white flowers. I clean these, you can tell I don't clean it up too good because they still have paint on them. All right, so now look how pretty the pink, orange, and blue is together. So we're picking up that white again. Now let's go right in here. I think you can see it if I leave it right there. I can come in here. Picking up. Do some more layers. Okay. See that? All right, so we go in here. I'm not happy with how this turned out right here. So I want to take and pull it. There's a phone going off. All right, so see, there's no problem with coming back and just doing it some more. And then all the way around. There. See, I just made it heavier. So it shows up better. And I'll pull these in with the green later. Okay, so I also want to show you about overlapping. Okay, so we're gonna be sure to put your dot where your flowers come into. All your petals come to there. And I can make a little bit heavier. Look, I push a little bit more. And depending on how much you push, I'm still using that 10, is how big your petals are. Now, see, you can just go around like that, but it's always easier to do your clock. Okay, so now I'm going to flip this brush, and instead of leading with the white, I mean the pink, the magenta, I'm going to lead with the white towards the center. See, now don't get too thin, because remember, when you get too thin, it's easier to scratch off. So I went and picked up more paint. More paint. Okay, there we go. So I will put more before I go and put the centers. There's a half of one, just a little bud. Now, what I like to do with buds, let me show you here. Okay, so what I like to do, laying that brush flat into that pink, I like to do these back ones, if I'm doing a bud, dark. All right, see how they're all dark? I'm going to come in here and do some light ones on top and shorter. See the dark ones in the back, make it look like you have some dimension. All right. I also like to just take the handle of the brush and where am I at? Right here. I'm gonna tap, 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 and have a bigger one there. Have some of these little, you really have to put the paper towel inside so you can see better. There, see that? I'm gonna have some of that over here too. Now this is the big because I'm using the handle, the bigger brush. See? Now I can put, oops, I can do a bigger, little, little for the centers. And what I like to do with these is that you can turn them and curl them. So if I have one here, one, oops, more paint. 1, 2, 3, and spin it. It'll probably be better with a little rubber tool, but see how it spins? All right, I'm going to pick up some more white. I can also, now see, I haven't been getting any medium because I'm putting tons of paint. So here's that push down left of the bright white and pink, just like we did the blue. And I did the same thing with this one, guys. I'm gonna put some little yellow dots down by the stem. So every little dot you put and every little stroke you put can make really pretty little wildflowers. And these are the ones that sell best in the show. Craft shows are the ones that have lots of fun colors added to it. All right, see the blue and white. And I don't have a stem on that half flower. All right, I'm going to do a 10 again. Make that stem there. I could even push down and do a leaf. Little leaves down here at the bottom if you want. All right, so that's pretty see-through. So I'm going to get a little bit of flow medium and work that in so that when I stroke it there, I'll feel like it's stronger. All right, I'm going to grab that stem. All right. Now I just did use the medium, but I could, the flow medium, but I could put clear medium in here. Okay, so I'm going to put the little stamens inside the flowers. Now, white stands out really good. So I turned these upside down and I did white. So I don't get inky like we usually do. I roll it in there. So I'm pulling the white. And I'm going to pull this from the center. I'm going to get a little bit of that. We can't use water to thin this, so we have to use that flow medium to thin it just a little bit. Because you can see it got a dry pull right there. All right, so I'm going to put one more. There we go. Now I'm going to go around and put that in these while I've got a good consistency of the brush. So see? Now, one little trick I want to share with you that I used to do all the time is it's going to stay better if you're on top of paint. So if I'm going to put these stamens, instead of going on the glass because it's a thin stroke, it's better. That's a little too thick. So let's get it really thin. It's better. You can paint it all right here on the glass, on top of painted already pieces. So I can put light green up here, or I can put yellow. That's thick, guys, so thick again. Remember, I came back with that one, but it was too wet, so I put it in there now. Okay, so these I ended up not doing it inside. And see, they're kind of on top of the petals. I'm going to go try to stroke just a little bit. So I'm going to pick up the pure orange and then some yellow. And I'm going to try to put a stroke right here. And you guys know how I like to put it inside anyway and then come back and stroke it. I want to leave that one. This one I don't like. So I'm going to come right here and stroke over that so it just looks like it's, those are popping out of the top. Now the key is you want to look like there's layers. So if I put orange there, and then you see the yellow next to it, it makes it look like it's layered better. See, if you feel like it's real thin and you're not happy, you can always add just a little bit more on there. Okay, so when I say to add lots of little added detail, if I come in here with just the yellow, I can take and put little yellow dots around the outside. And these little dots stay raised. That's what I love about them. And with this being rubber, I can just keep pushing it. Yeah. See how that little bit of yellow on there makes it look cute? Okay. Now, anything that we do to this really adds to it. And I don't know how many of you have seen how I do this plaid, but I'm going to go ahead and use a couple of the bright colors in here. But you're going to take a 12 and see how I'm picking up the dark green. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to stand up so I can see it well. I want to come straight across. So I come right straight across. And this holds up really well, even if it's on the bottom. See that thin there? I could come back this way. And hey, girls, if you have a shake, I tell people then make it all shaky. Just a little bit of wiggle. And it doesn't hurt anything if it's all that way. Okay, so now I wash out my brush. And I'm going to come back now with a soft green. This is what I love. So you turn it around and you see it's dark green. And what they do is they try to put the light red and then blow dry it, and then they come back and do the dark green. But I want you to see what happens if I decide I'm going to take and do this right. See, that's not very straight because I'm trying to miss the camera here. Okay, so this one's a little shaky. All right, so then I'm going to go across here, and I'm spacing it right there from the dark green. Okay. All right, so orange was a big color I used, right? So if I come in with some orange, wash that brush, and I can make a really thin line of orange. Okay. A little bit more. And I'm going to put a little bit right in there. And when you get all through, it really doesn't matter if it's exact. It still looks good, guys. Oop, that one will give me a problem. Guess what, though? All you have to do is wipe it off and do it again. It's not a big deal. Okay, see, I'm not happy with that one spot, and I came off, right, that one spot right there. But I want you to see what happens is that it picks up the dark green and puts the light green and the orange on top. Isn't that kind of fun? Well, let me tell you what I would do. Since I kind of messed up in one of those spots, I can turn it around this way, and I can put a few strokes anywhere that is bothering me. Like I can come in here and do some white and yellow. And I can put it right on top of some of that crooked area there. And, oops. And see, it won't even stand out anymore if that bothers you. See? All right, so I wouldn't add any green. I could just come along here and add a few daisies, or I can even add, you'll still see that barely. All right, so then I can wipe that off, and I can actually come in here with blue and white. And I can add a couple of little blue. Anything that brings it back to what it looks like up top. Okay. Just a little detail. Any little detail like that that you add just adds to your piece and makes it like different than everybody else's painted glass, guys. I still do have a couple of those entertaining books where I painted all their dishware. And we had tablecloths to match. And I have my recipes inside, the ones that all my boys like. Okay. Alrighty. So then I turn it upside down like that and then let it dry. Okay. These are spring flowers. So look. See, this one's just orange and blues. And this one has a mixture of color because I added the pinks and the yellows and all. All right.